it's Julia, and welcome back to my channel. I am still busy this week upcycling jeans that I had picked up at my thrift store. My thrift store is running a huge sale or half price sale, and so I picked up a number of them. And I thought I would show you one that I'm working on and just give you some hints on how I like to decorate them. Isn't this fun fabric? I've had it in my stash for probably at least 10 years, and it's one of those things that I take out and maybe cut one square and do a project and then put it away. It's basically one that I've been hoarding. It is same or similar. It's hard to tell what's front and back on this. I do have some heat and bond on parts of it. I've been using it, but I thought I'm going to be using this. So these jeans are going to be retro, hippie, gypsy type looking jeans. And also I had found this in my stash, and it's a batik also. And I do have the heat and bond already on the back, but I just thought the two complemented each other really well. Oh, and also this another same on both sides piece of green fabric. And this, I'm going to show you what I've come up with so far. I don't have it sewn, but I do have it ironed on. I'm trying to get the angle right on the camera here, but I think you can see what I'm doing. This is one pants leg, and I have just put one of the little embellishments right. I just cut it out as a square and ironed it on to this one. And then I cut a circle and just laid the green strip on it to make it a peace sign, and also cut an outer circle and did the same thing on this side. Cut a flower and then use some of the green strip as the stem and the petal. But what I like to do on these jeans when I'm decorating is I like to run my design down one leg, and I will open that leg up. So it's easier for me to get the sewing machine in. I will be attaching this with a free motion stitching. And I probably will be using a variegated thread and just do some wonky stitching on it. And then on the other side of the other pant leg, I like to put the design up on top. And then this little piece right here, I like to stick something. And that's what I'm going to be doing right now. I'm going to just run a little piece of this fabric through a flower layer die cut and put a little flower right here. I'm laying my piece on the part of the flower that I want to cut and making my sandwich. And I've got my little piece cut out. And I'm going to just iron that on right up on top here. I'll probably be adding a button to this right in the center just to give it something. I believe this die is actually discontinued, but I will link one that is similar to it down below if you're interested in a flower layer die. This iron of mine will turn off if it's unattended for like 10 minutes. What a dumb iron, right? I mean, if you sew, you don't want your iron to be turning off. And now it's off to my sewing machine to do the stitching. I have my free motion foot on. I have my feed dogs dropped, which automatically when I drop my feed dogs on this machine, this is a Janome, my stitch length will go to 0. If you don't have an automatic to 0, I would put my stitch length to 0 if you're doing free motion. And then I'll show you my thread. I'm going to be using this variegated Coats & Clark thread. Love this thread. I use it a lot. It comes in several different colors. This is Brights, I believe. It has the purples and the yellows and greens and a blue in it, which is going to be perfect for this project. When I use a cone type thread like spool like this on my normal sewing machine, I do use a freestanding cone thread holder which sits behind my machine. I'll grab it here so you can see what it looks like. I don't know if you can see it or not. but it's just stands right behind it. I've had that question before on how do you use cone thread holder or cone thread on a regular sewing machine, and this is what I've always used. These cone thread holders can be picked up just at a regular fabric stores. My pants leg now is underneath my sewing machine, and I'm just using that opening that I cut or I deconstructed, and it's just sliding over my open arm here. Now the thing with free motion is the motion. Just getting that motion down, and I'm going to be going all over this. I'm going to be going on the fabric, off the fabric, doing some wonky stitching. That is what I like. That's the look that I'm going for. And this is raw edge applique, so it's going to be wonky. I'm working on this flower next, and this flower is 2 layers. I just put a layer of batting and then the top layer, and this is also a die cut. This is the Holtz Alteration flower layer die cut. Doing this in the same way, I'm going to be doing just a little detail stitching in that, and then going around the edges as well. I'm adding more stitching to the stem. I forgot to mention, when you see me push my finger up here, I do have an automatic thread cutter on this machine, and so I'm cutting my thread and then going to the next spot. Sometimes I don't want to do a running stitch through the design, and so I will cut my thread. Now it's on to this particular little peace sign, and again I am going to just be doing some back and forth wonky stitches on this. To begin this, I will, when I start my stitching, I'll go back and forth just a little bit to lock the stitch into place. I'll just do a little back and forth, and then I'm off again. I'm on to the last little design here. I got my flower done, and I'm going to again be doing my wonky stitching and also doing some detail stitching inside of this peace sign. My crazy free motion stitching all done, and I added a couple of my craft buttons that are real colorful. These are a wooden button that has a seal coat on them, so they are washable. They're just fun. And again on this side I added another button. I thought I would add some sachiko stitching on this, which is a hand stitching Japanese embroidery, basically in embroidery floss, and I'll just do something in the center of these. I'm going to do that off camera, but I will post some pictures of my finished jeans at the end here. Now I get a lot of comments about raw edge applique, isn't it going to fray? Yes, it's going to fray. It's going to fray some, but I personally like that look. It's going to fray up a little bit and have more texture to it through the washing. And one more thing that I do get asked a lot is, you know, why didn't I put more like on the back of the jean, or why didn't I do the bottom cuffs or open or whatever? And you know, it's so personal preference, and that's what I love about upcycling, is everyone is going to be different. You're not going to find probably the same jeans again. This is a size 16 Levi, really good quality denim. You know, and probably no one else out there has a 10-year-old fabric in their stash of this retro peace sign. If you do, leave me a comment. I would be interesting to hear that. But you know what I mean? It's all going to be different, and that is what's so fun about upcycling. And everybody's taste is different. So I hope you enjoyed this. Again, I'll put some pictures of the finished project at the end. I will be turning this pants leg inside out now and sewing up. This still has this seam that is open, stitching that up and getting it back to where it can be worn. So thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.